Hello, everyone. Welcome to another live Saturday catch-up with Mayo. That's me. And I'm noticing that something funny happened. I don't know. I had an ad up for this. I was advertising that I was going to be on here, as I usually do. And my friend Danny just said to me, called me and said, "Hey, are you going to do a Q&A today or a live stream? Because I don't see an ad up there." So I think what happened was somehow along the way, I must have deleted it. I deleted the ad. So, depending on who finds out I'm here or not, we'll see if we have a live stream because, you know, maybe people thought that I canceled it or something like that. Well, I inadvertently canceled it. Didn't mean to. So at least we have George here. Hello, George. Music for all four seasons. A great guy with a channel devoted mostly, right? Almost, is it only to Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons? So check it out over there, please. And yeah, because I had an ad up here saying I was going to be going live, and didn't work out so well. I guess it just disappeared. Yeah, I had some problems yesterday. I went live yesterday for a little while with Danny. That's right. Danny and I went live just for a little while, and we had Tom Hunyadi came up with us, and also Beatles Tone, and we had a nice discussion. But that was taken down, and I think when I took it down, I also accidentally took down the ad for today. This is why I only have at this point a few people even know when I'm here. So I don't know how much I can talk about here, on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Can't necessarily do that tonight. I don't have subjects. Well, I mean, you saw my video, or some of you must have, about me getting the new John Lennon. I might as well reach for it and show it just to try to stall for time here. Record store day item, power to the people. If you watch the video that I just made, I take a look at this, I take the record out. It's on, I say yellow vinyl, but I think it's, yeah, it is yellow. I was going to say, I thought it might be yellow green. 180 gram, 4-track EP. This is going to be available on Record Store Day, which is this coming Saturday, April 12th. And here's a look at the back of it. As I say, I just put the video up, so you can check the video where I go into the inside of it a little more. Just something to talk about here, just to kill the time, because people don't know I'm here. Matchstick Man found out I was here. What's going on? Yeah. So, what else we got? Last week at this time, I was at the 2025 Fest for Beatles fans. And I noticed this one said, the Fest for Beatles fans, a revolution. I'm wondering what that was for. That was odd. But bunch of events in here. Guest events. If you've never been to a Beatles Fest, do it sometime. Put it on your bucket list. Okay. Okay. That's awesome. How did you get it so early? I noticed Tone dropped a video about it. The note with your name on it is a nice touch. Well, yeah. Well, I got it early because the John Lennon estate sends some of us who are here on YouTube making videos a copy. So the idea is to show it, and I appreciate it. It's a gift, and I always appreciate it. George, I'd love to have you one of these days, whenever's convenient for you. Be nice to see you there. Hello, Dino. Dino, you missed it yesterday. Danny was back for a little while. We went on for a little while, and people were wondering where Dino was. I know how much. What, did you pop up eventually, Dino? I don't remember. I don't think you did. I don't think you showed up. No, you didn't. You didn't. Yeah, it was a last minute decision. It wasn't anything that was planned. I just was talking to Danny on the phone, and we reminisced about the old days, so to speak, when he used to come up on screen with me. And I said, "Hey, why don't we do a live stream? Do you want to?" He said, "Sure." So we did one. It's not up. It's taken down. I took it down. You know, didn't really intend on leaving it up, but it was a little blast from your past, you might say, something like that. So I'll just hang out here and I'll wait to see if anybody winds up getting the memo that I'm here, and then we'll take it from there. If anybody has any comments. I think that I was sleeping. You were sleeping. Well, I don't know what time it is where you were. You're in Croatia, right? We were on about 6 p.m., 6 o'clock at night, Eastern Standard Time. So I don't know what time that is for you. It was past midnight. Well, now that makes sense. So right now, I guess it's about 11. All right, that settles that. Uh, it's a drag that my ad was inadvertently deleted. I put an ad up there. I always try to put an ad up there to let people know when I'm going to be live in advance, if I can. Cheers. Okay, I see Lizzie's here. Hello, Lizzie. How are you? I know you go to Chicago Fest. Turns out that I've made reservations for a hotel room, so I actually I have a room. I haven't decided 100% that I'm going, but if I go, at least I know I got the room. You can always cancel the room if you're not going to go. I'd like to go. It was fun last time. Nice hotel. It was big, So we'll see how it goes. Yeah. Hurry up. I'm going to give a word of advice. If you do want to do it, at least reserve it. You can always cancel it later. But the thing is, make sure you ask for the Beatle Fest for Beatles fans rate, because I heard they're running out. So the special block of rooms, there are not many left, I don't think. So give it a shot. Elliot, what's going on, Elliot? Elliot, I got my ticket with Robert S. I'm going to see the John Lennon 1-to-1 movie. We're going next Friday at 7 p.m. I mean, I remember, if I heard you correctly, you were not available that day. You're welcome. Do you have any plan yet, Elliot, when you're going to see the movie? Or how you're going to see the movie? When, how, if? Hello, Ronald. I wouldn't say I got really sick, but I did get sick. Every time there's a fest, people get sick. Some people. This year, I made it fine. I went to the fest, and it's been a week, and I'm fine. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but so far, so good. I'm seeing Franz Ferdinand that night. I will try to see it sometime after Record Store Day. Okay, good. There are no new rock bands that I know of that I like. To tell you the truth, I've got my hands full and my head full and my heart full with old bands. You know, yeah, that's a nice EP. Sounds great too. I played it. Hmm. That's a good bet. That's a good bet. Yeah, Elliot was at the Fest for Beatles fans as well, and I was talking to him the other day, and I said, again, I'm sorry that I didn't spend as much time with him or a lot of other people. It's hard. It's hard just to see everybody. So many people. Hello, what's the good word? Yeah, I have a Cloud 9 display right up there. I don't know if you see it. It's right up there. There it is. That's a small countertop display. Just listen to Jingle Bell Rock. Please don't mention anything Christmassy at this time. Please. Oh, I think I got that on eBay. If you want to check out eBay, some time ago. I've seen it on there more than once. Hello, James. What's going on? James Farley. Just watched The Human Monster with Bela Lugosi. It was pretty good. Yeah, it's a good one. It was made in England. That's a, UK movie, and Lugosi is really good in there. It's a good Lugosi movie. Lugosi drowns people for their insurance money. It's what you know. Yeah, my movie channel over there has still been dormant. I haven't really done any movie content. I'll get around to it again. I will. The year is young. The year is young. We got more time left. Yeah, my cousins and I picked up some key items at the fest, right? Including that your cousin got that very first Third Man Records McCartney 3, the one that was very limited. And he spent a pretty penny for it. It's worth money. I think John was a better actor. I think all the other three Beatles were a better actor than Paul. While Paul, I think, was the most talented of the Beatles, I don't think he was the best actor. I think he was the least actor of the four. Yeah, I think so too. John had great comedic timing. I think John and Ringo especially. I mean, Ringo might have been the most comedic of the four. Ringo and John and George. I also think Paul is the least funny of the four. Hey, I gave Paul his props. He's the best musician. He's the most talented Beatle. Elton John on Saturday Night Live tonight. Really, 60 Minutes on Sunday, and after that, there's an Elton John concert. I thought Elton John was, excuse me for using the word, but I thought he was shot. I mean, his shot in the sense of his voice, his abilities. I thought he was kind of at the end. I know he was losing his eyesight, right? I don't know. I thought he had some problems. Hello, how do I say the name? Romaga? Trying anyway. So what's everybody doing on a Saturday? Say Saturday here in the East anyway. Saturday at late afternoon. I guess around the other side in the West, it's also afternoon. Sorry, folks. I don't have anything to talk about. Do I remember what was the first John Lennon solo song that I heard? It could have been Mind Games, but I'm not really sure. I'm either Imagine or Mind Games. I know hearing those two. I remember hearing those two early. Okay, this is Elton John released a brand new album with Brandy Carlisle entitled "Who Believes in Angels." I'll literally be at the Hyatt the weekend before the fest too for the horror convention. That's amazing. I wish I could go to a horror convention with you. And I see you got the Michael Myers and the pumpkins in the avatar. I like Eddie Dees, and he has as much energy as Mikey Arugula. Yeah, it's hard to tell who's got more energy out of those two. So a horror convention. What's the horror fest? What kind of is it? Does it have like a name, patented name? I have not heard the new unearthed audio of the Beatles playing in September '63 in the UK. I heard this was the Roy Orbison one, correct? Okay, the weekend with the horror is called Flashback Weekend. I don't know if anybody cares, but I found out that the Brady Bunch are coming around my neck of the woods. Oh, well, all of the Brady kids except for Jan and Marsha. Marsha, and Jan Brady. So we're going to get Susan Olsen. We're going to get Mike Lookinland. We're going to get Christopher Knight. And we're going to get Barry Williams. In other words, Cindy, Bobby, Peter, and Greg. Now, you want to know why I'm even care about it. Because I grew up with the show. Simple as that. I was 7 years old when the show premiered, and it's a childhood thing. I picked up a signed Ringo art print at the fest. This is correct. You did. I saw you. I saw it. I can vouch for that. He really did. That's true. This is true. This is not fabricated. Yeah, Butch Patrick, I already met him. He's been at a lot of shows. I met him back in like 1992 or something like that. I mean, it's a long time ago. First John Lennon solo song I heard was Love. Yeah, that was a good one. From the Plastic Ono Band album. Neil, who runs the art room, is a really nice guy. I know one of the rooms at the fest had the Ringo's rotogravure uh, counter display. And I love those things, as you can see. I have some counter displays here. Hey Jude, George's Cloud 9, John and Yoko Double Fantasy. Over here I have George is somewhere in England. I have Broad Street. I like collecting those. They stand up nice. Nice little decoration for your Beatles cave. I can hear the water running upstairs. Somebody's using the water. Anybody hear it? It's so quiet here. You could hear a pin drop right now. Yeah, this is a pretty quiet, solemn live stream. For those just checking in, I made the mistake of accidentally deleting my ad that said I was going to be here. I think I just accidentally deleted it. So nobody knows I'm here. I wonder if this is this. I can't see the inside here. I wonder if this is an aluminum cup or steel. I don't know what it is. Beatles channel played the title song "Scouse the Mouse" by Ringo Starr last night. First time I've ever heard it on the radio. Pretty good song. Well, that's a rarity because they don't play that many rarities unless you're listening to Chris Carter. Mike Wall Jasper, what's going on, Mike? Yeah, hi. I'm sorry. I think hi, James Martinez, right? I think I forgot to mention you in my video, my Beatles thing, my Beatles video, best video. If you take a magnet to that cup, you will know if it's aluminum or steel. Well, what should happen? Hello, Andy. Still listening to Look Up. Do you rate it? Do I rate it? I think it's excellent. I think it's one of Ringo's all-time best albums, and I think right now it's one of the best ever solo Beatle albums, period. I played it a lot of times back in January, and I played it maybe a dozen times when I got it. I think it's really a solid Ringo album, and I'm so happy for him that it's well liked. My favorite lighting color vinyl album that you have. Probably this one. I don't remember all of them. I don't remember all of them, to tell you the truth. And a magnet will stick to the steel cup. Your videos for the fest were awesome. Well, I thank you, Mike. Thank you. There's a bunch of people told me they really liked them, and I really, really appreciate that because some people can't go, and at least I can make a video for some fun. But of course, it's not the whole fest, and I can't put music on there. I like to put music on there, but are you planning to see the 1-to-1 documentary? Yes, I am. I have a ticket to see it. My friend Robert. We're going on Friday, April 11th, next Friday. 8 more weeks till Ringo at Radio City Music Hall. I still don't know if I'm going to that. If I am going to go, I'd better hurry up and try to get tickets somehow because I don't have any ticket. I'm not sure. I love seeing Ringo. I think I've seen him about 8 or 9 times, something like that. But I really just wish he would change his all-star band. I wish he would change it up because that was the appeal in the first bunch of years that he did it, that he would always change the band. And the chat from the fest was amazing. I like it. Thank you. Terry Carter, what's going on? How are you? I did not hear Tomorrow Never Knows, I don't believe. There's a lot of bands there, and I haven't heard a lot of them either. There's in the old days, I used to actually, in the 1980s, I used to actually record with an audio cassette recorder. the Battle of the Bands, and bands used to compete against each other. It was a lot of fun, and I have to make it a point the next time I go to really partake in that again. You hope that Ringo does at least one song from the new album. Me too. Me too. The music in the lobby was great, plus also on the ninth floor. Yeah, the Apple Jam was on the ninth floor. I didn't go down to the first floor. Anybody who's here, like Elliot, James, did you go down to the first floor? Because there was activity on the ninth floor and the third floor. But I didn't go down to the first. I heard there was also activity on the first floor, and I didn't go. So I'd really like to know. The Kinks or the Animals? That is really tough. That is really tough. I like the Kinks or the Animals about equally. I'll give the slight edge to the Kinks, but when I say slight edge, it's really a hair. I used to talk to the members of the Liverpool band back in like 1982. Somebody asked me, I forget who, do I have the Caramar record? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I liked watching the trivia part from the fest. Eddie Deason was hilarious. Seems like a nice guy. He was a very nice guy there. Very nice guy, a fun guy. That's what I thought of him there. I know he's had his problems, but at the fest, he was great. Music everywhere on the first floor was great also. Trying to get my brother to perform next year. Okay. Good luck with that. Yeah, I did not go down to the first floor. You really bought that? I'm sorry to ask. Do you have the old one? Because I have the old I don't even look at. I have the old anthology book, and I don't even look at that. It's a huge book. I don't even look at that anymore. I'm not going to buy the new one. So I tell everybody, so many things these days I'm not partaking in. So many things I'm passing up. I don't need everything, nor can I have everything, nor can I fit everything. So I don't need everything, and I'm getting older, as I've said before. I didn't say old. I said older. I heard that there's going to be new versions of Real Love and Free as a Bird. What do you think? Well, I think it's a great idea if they could use the technology that they did with Now and Then and kind of really clean those up and make John's voice sound more in the room with you. Not so much like from heaven or outer space or the bathroom. I really hope that can be done. I'm looking forward to hearing new versions of Real Love and Free as a Bird. I don't know. I don't know if they're adding things, but even if they add something, I'm not interested. I'm just not interested, anymore. Those books up there on this shelf, and this one here in the corner is a big fat book on the BBC stuff. I went crazy when I first got that book, looking at it, reading it. I never looked at it again. It's years. Hello, Robbie. Good to see you. Thank you for showing up here. I think it would be amazing if ABC showed the anthology again on the anniversary. Well, I definitely think we're going to be getting some anthology stuff. And I think that's going to include, I'm just guessing. People take things, verbatim. I'm just guessing that we're going to get some more footage, some new stuff that we hadn't seen before. Who was a better actor, Dean Martin or Jerry Lewis? I'm not really that familiar with either one of them. I know one thing, Dean Martin was a better singer. I don't know who's the better actor. Jerry Lewis was the better comedian. Is Time of the Season your favorite zombie song? I bet it is. It is. I don't know a lot of zombie songs, but out of the big hits, Tell Her No, Time of the Season. What's the other one? Tell Her No, Time of the Season. What's the other big one? Oh, man. She's Not There. No, out of those, I like Time of the Season the best. Thank you, Robbie. 56 watching and only 10 likes. Smash that like button, folks. Thank you. Yo, what's up, Kevin? Looking forward to the new anthology book this fall. Have a great day. You too. Enjoy the anthology book. Tell me how it is when you get it. I would love to see Peter Jackson clean up the Washington Coliseum concert. We got a brief glimpse of it in the '64 documentary. The Washington concert has already been pretty cleaned up. It can always use even more, but it's pretty cleaned up now. Yeah, I'd like to see a really, really good release of concerts and the best stuff they can find of the Beatles, because there's no Beatles stuff. As far as concerts, there's not really much out there the way we want them. Yes, I know the name of this movie too. It's called Four for Texas, right? That's the name of it. Three Stooges with Dean Martin. Four for Texas. I still have my double cassettes of the anthologies I bought as soon as they came out. We'll never part with those. Oh, yeah, I have them too in my collection. I didn't buy them at the time, but I've since gotten them as part of, collectoritis. Did you find it hard to read some of the pages on the anthology book? Yes, I think I remember that being a problem. There's a lot of good information in that book. There's no doubt about it. But, I haven't read that since, it's been 25 years. Something like that. So much stuff, so little time. How is Bazooka Joe? Is his cancer in remission? I saw a brief glimpse of him today at the record store. As far as I know, he's doing well. I don't see him that much, but when I do, because he doesn't stay all day, he just comes in the morning, does a little work, and then goes home when he has other people taking it over. As far as I know, that's the case, I think. No, I mentioned this to Chris. He said you went to see Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass 90th birthday concert. You mentioned the time he met George Harrison and George married his secretary, Olivia. Yeah. And how Herb distributed Dark Horse Records. Yeah, also Chris, also saw that Chris. It sounds like a song. Sounds like a song. One of the best Beatles books I had was Beatles Recording Sessions, I think by Lewison, was a book you could go back to again and again. Yes, he made a great book about the complete recording sessions. The thing is, I think he later said he made some errors in it. I don't know if he corrected it and revised it. Yeah. And that's exactly what a Ramon would say. Exactly. And so it begins. Retail record stores are selling signed copies of the new Elton John CD. Hello, Oliver. What's going on? Do you think George could have been a great guitarist? Do you think he lost interest? A lot of people think he was a great guitarist. I don't. I think he was a capable guitarist, and I think he did some very tasty things, sweet things with the guitar. I definitely think I would go as far to say he was a pretty damn good slide guitarist. I don't know that book, Way Beyond Compare. That I don't know. When I got Pete Best's autograph, I had him sign the anthology book because I didn't have anything else with him. Whatever works, man. I had him sign this yellow album here, the Savage Young Beatles. I always said if I ever meet Pete Best, that's the album, that's the item I want signed. So I got it. 2022. I think October 1st. Well, it was early October, either way. Love George Harrison's tribute to Bonzo Dog Band's His Name is Legs from Extra Texture. How many copies will be available on Record Store Day of the new John Lennon record, Joe? That I do not know. I don't know what the amount's going to be. I don't know how many first of all, I don't know how many they're making in total. And then I don't know how many each store is going to get. It's very hard for me to pick my favorite George Harrison song. Very hard. With the Beatles, it's Here Comes the Sun. It's just a happy, bright song. No matter when I hear it, I always get my day cheered up. Something is like the greatest love song, one of the greatest love songs ever made. While My Guitar Gently Weeps, those three I think are among his greatest. I love the song Don't Bother Me, his first song that he ever wrote. It's really kind of haunting and a little weird. I love it. I love that song. Cheer Down, I love. Later on, talking about the slide guitar, it's from we did it for the Lethal Weapon 2 soundtrack. Really good George song. And Give Me Love, Give Me Peace on Earth. Beautiful song, spiritual, uplifting. Well, I am going to do my movie chat again. I've skipped a bunch of them. I haven't done it, as you know, in several weeks. But I'll get back in the groove eventually, so hang in there. Once again, if anybody wants to subscribe, believe me, this channel is actually still exists. It's not active right now. Mr. Mayo Nostalgia has to do with movies, television, collectibles relating to TV and movies, pop culture, things like that. So please subscribe. I've never been to the Cavern, never been to Liverpool, never been to England. Robbie says there's usually 2,000 to 10,000 copies in the case of the Record Store Day item. Yeah, Larry Kane was at the fest in New Jersey, really, New York Metro. But yeah, he's been there. He's been there a few times, actually. Well, that's a tough one. I'm gonna go with Old Brown Shoe only because Old Brown Shoe is kind of official and Not Guilty. They never really finished it. They're both good. They're both very good. All Things Must Pass. That's another great George song. Great. So you got it now, Mr. Cinemeo Nostalgia. I'll take that off. Take it out of your face. It's in your face. In your face. In your face. Let's get some more of that water from my either aluminum or steel. I think it's aluminum. I'd rather it be steel. Thinking that's the lesser of the evils, health-wise. Yeah, Isn't It a Pity is a great song. Great song. And I like Billy Preston's version as well. I sure do. Okay, on May the 9th of this year, Dark Horse Records is reissuing Dark Horse Extra Texture 33 to 3rd, All Things 2 CD set. Well, this is a lot to say. Ellie, you give me a lot of things to say. Wait, well, it's funny, they're doing Early Takes again, but they never put Early Takes Volume 2 out. I'd like to see Early Takes Volume 2. That was the first one, 2012, something like that. Larry King was younger than George. That's hard to believe. I'm not one to say because I'm not a guitar player. I'm going to say George. I'll say George is better than John. I think Paul was better than George. but I'm going by my ears. I'm going by my ears, and I'm also going by the outtakes and how George struggles mightily on early outtakes. And live, too, sometimes. Sometimes live as well. Struggle. I saw a video on YouTube of George lip syncing this song on a European music show. Yeah, I've seen that. George didn't look too happy, like a disco-y show. Yeah. And of course, Larry King was younger than George, but looked twice as old. That's the point, right? Yeah. Oh, you meant Larry Kane. Larry Kane. Oh, okay. Larry Kane. Help me, Lord. Help me. Gotcha now. Larry Kane. Saw a deep dive review of Dog Day Afternoon. I remember it being a good film. Might have to watch it again. It's a good film. It's not my favorite Al Pacino film by far, but it's good. Larry King dead for years, but still doing those commercials. Sorry for the lull, folks. I'm waiting for comments. Sometimes I got more to talk about on my own, but not now. Bob Hope. I could take Bob Hope or leave him. Not interesting question. Kind of indifferent about Bob Hope. He was okay. I like Bing Crosby better than Bob Hope. Okay, I think they made those road pictures together, Hope and Crosby. Hello, Darren. No singing tonight. Hey, I gave you some singing yesterday, right? You don't want to hear me sing. I'll lose like all my subscribers or viewers here, I should say. Have you done any film location videos? Seeing places famous movies were shot? No, because I haven't gone to any that I know of. But it's funny. Back in 1998, 1998. That's 14 years before I had a YouTube channel. I did go to the Pittsburgh Mall, Monroeville Mall, where they actually shot the movie Dawn of the Dead in that mall. And well, back then you didn't have these kind of things. I mean, I had a camcorder. I had a VHS camcorder. You could have walked in there, but I think they were very careful. They didn't want you taking pictures. They didn't want. I remember that now that I think of it. I took some photographs, but the people in the mall didn't want you to actually take too many photographs. Have you heard anything at all, including rumors about a Rubber Soul box set coming? No, there is no more. There are no more rumors. I still don't know. I'm really big. It's funny. I really thought there would be a Rubber Soul box set this year. Now I'm wondering because obviously and almost definitely, pretty definite, we're going to get something for the anthology. This is 30 years anniversary of the anthology. So I know it's pretty likely we're going to get some anthology material celebratory material, whatever, reissued stuff, some new features, maybe, whatever. We don't know all the details. But Rubber Soul hasn't been a murmur about that. You ever go shopping for comic books at Silver Age Comics in Astoria? No, never been. Never been. This might be a rather short catch up with Mayo session. I mean, maybe an hour. If things pick up, I'll go a little longer. We'll see how it goes. Any famous movies, TV shows, or music videos shot or taped near or around your neighborhood? I think Frankenstein meets the Space Monster was close. McCartney announced the next 5 Japanese CDs. Yeah, we should mention that. That's a good point. You know, those Japanese CDs, which again, just like so many other things I've been mentioning, I am not buying and not collecting. I'm passing up on them. McCartney 2 is announced. Tug of War, Pipes of Peace, Choba B, CCCP, Flowers in the Dirt, but no London Town or Back to the Egg. That's why I agree. A lot of people think, and I certainly think, that because they haven't released London Town and Back to the Egg on this Japanese CD series, I think that means we're going to get archives boxes. That's what I think. As I talked to Danny today, I talked to Danny yesterday. We did a live stream yesterday, which is not up. I took it down. I wasn't going to keep it up. But anyway, yeah, I talked to Danny. Yep. And as far as Don goes, no, I haven't seen Don lately at the store. You know, I'll tell you who I did see today at the store. The guy that sometimes sells those rotten records. You know, the guy everybody likes. If you watch my record store hangout videos, the guy tries to sell these records. And he was there. I may have some footage for you when I do my next record store video of that. I miss Danny. Fact. Well, I think he's watching, so I think he'll be happy. How many versions of the White Album do you have in your collection? I'm looking over here. I think 3, maybe something like that. I don't have many. Okay. Okay, I got your comment there. Well, Paul McCartney did a concert. What was the year? 2002 or 2005? The early 2000s in Russia. So sometimes artists don't re-release certain albums because the master tape is messed up or even missing. I don't believe that's the case here. It's too much of a coincidence that he would skip over London Town and Back to the Egg when those are the only 2 Wings archives boxes that we never got. So I'm being hopeful anyway, very hopeful about it. Mm-hmm. Was Wings a real band? Who asked that? Yeah, that's a question that people often ask. I will answer that myself, whoever asked it. Yes, I think Wings was a real band. Yeah. Obviously, it was Paul McCartney's band, but It was a real band, in my opinion. Some people may beg to differ on that. Getting Closer is one of Paul's best post Beatles songs and my personal favorite. I like that song a lot because it rocks. It's a rocking song. Back to the Egg is underrated too often. And I hope it gets reappraised if it ever comes out in an archives edition. I love the song No Bed for Beetle John. I think that was from 68. Yeah, it's a song that Yoko sings. She was actually reading the newspaper. There's a newspaper, and that was the name of the article. And it's a nice little thing. Is there a contract dispute between Paul and the members of Wings for those two albums, Joe? There's been a lot of supposed trouble with Back to the Egg, especially as far as I understand it. And that could have something to do with it. That's a good point. There could be a problem. Maybe it's not that they're saving it for the archives. Maybe it could be that there's some legal problems. Do you think they'll ever release the Rupert demos? I would say so. Wings was definitely a band, and I'm sure in the studio all the members contributed something. Oh, sure. Wings was definitely a group effort, a joint effort. Yeah. Yeah, I love the song Let 'Em In too. And as I always say, that Let 'Em In as well as Silly Love Songs reminds me of my youth as a 14-year-old going down to the beach, listening to the AM radios on the sand in 76, 14. I always remember I came to Australia in 76. Our economics teacher, in hindsight, quite a cool guy, telling us he'd seen Paul recently. Must have been Wings Over America tour down under. Hello, Gary. Yes, I've been on now for 52 minutes, and it's a shame. A lot of people are not getting notices. A lot of people say they don't get the alerts that I'm on. Okay. Hello, Kobe. What's going on? This is Danny. Joe, now you're old. Oh, what's up, Danny? What was it like going to Beatles Fest and meeting Eddie Deezen? It was fun. I like that movie, I Want to Hold Your Hand. It's not a great movie. It's not one of my all-time favorite movies, but it's a Beatles-related movie, and it's fun, and he's funny. Why not? You're at the fest anyway. Why not? Let's see. Many people don't like John and Yoko albums from the 60s, but I do. Fact. What are your thoughts on the Beatles movie cast? I'll have to see what they can do. Just judging by their physical appearance on the pictures I saw, they don't all remind me of the actual Beatles. But once they put the actual costumes on, the hair, the suits, and all this stuff, and they start acting like the Beatles, maybe it'll work. And I picked up three 1978 sealed picture discs: Abbey Road, Band on the Run, Sergeant Pepper, and a white vinyl 3-track sealed McCartney 12-inch. Jesus, come on, Elliot, please give me a rest. Beatles versus the Four Seasons, and a Now and Then 10-inch. You got a lot of stuff at the fest. Okay. 62 watching, 26 likes. Let's change that. Let's try to make more likes because it helps. If anybody, first of all, if you're on here right now and you don't want to help me, do not click the likes. That's fine. But if you do like me and you want to try to help, click the thumbs up because it helps. It actually helps recommendations and things like that. Hi, Wes. Would you rather have been at one-to-one concert or Bangladesh? That's a toughie. Well, that is a toughie. Well, because I'm a John Lennon guy, I would have rather been at the one-to-one concert. I didn't get to see John or George, and if I could only pick one of them, it would be John. Hello, Laura. What's up? It looks like I'm really late to the party, almost an hour, but some people didn't know that I was on. Do you have any inside info on a possible Back to the Egg re-release? No, no. Yeah, a lot of people are saying they don't get notifications. I don't know what that's about. The people who do not get notifications, do you click that little bell up there? The bell is supposed to tell you, but I don't know why that is. But originally, I had an ad. I put an ad up. Whoop, who's this now bothering me? It's Mikey Arugula. Mikey! I can't talk now. I told him I was doing this. I told him. I told him I was doing this live. I told him, and he calls me anyway. Bless his little heart. Anyway, he'll probably pop on here, knowing him. Okay, let's get back to this. The merch room was way better this year. Glassy, there you go. Even though it was a small room, people still found a lot of goodies there. So there you go. I wasn't going to pick up the Venus and Mars Half Master until I got a gift card for my birthday. I have to admit, it sounds flipping great. I know those sound great, those Half Masters. Ringo gave the thumbs up to the actor portraying him in the Mendes film. Well, the thing about that is, out of all the actors, I'm just going by first looks and first reactions. I think Ringo looks the closest. I mean, I don't know if you'd say closest, but he's more believable as Ringo by look. Do I find the bootleg outtakes of Strawberry Fields fascinating? Yeah, I do. I found them fascinating a long time ago when I first heard them. Yeah. My late brother was at the 1-to-1 in Bangladesh and the Dark Horse tour. God, amazing. Yeah, I was at to none of the above. I was too young then. Does Mikey talk only pausing for air all the way in the car on the drive to the fest? No, he wasn't. He wasn't bad. He wasn't. He didn't talk all the way. No, But we were sitting in traffic. We were sitting in a lot of traffic. My God. If there's going to be a 1-to-1 box set, there is going to be one because Sean has now confirmed it. Do you think there'll also be a book release like the other box sets? I would think so. I would think so. I don't know for sure, but I would guess so. Just judging by the other ones. Did you see the Simpson episode where Paul said he's alive at the end of the credits? No, I didn't. I saw the Ringo thing when Ringo was right. It was answering a fan letter or something, and George was on. I think Paul and Linda. I think. I mean, I saw bits and pieces here and there. What's going on, Kimba? Greetings. None of those actors look the part at all. I have limited interest now. Yeah, I hear you. What's that 9 CD box that Andrew mentioned? It can't be 9 CDs of 1-to-1, is there? Well, there were a lot of rehearsals, and I should have thought of that on my video. A lot of times you mean to say something when you're shooting a video, you have an idea, a framework of what you want to say, and sometimes I got to write the bullet points down, or I'll forget. And I forgot to mention there were a lot of rehearsals, the rehearsal sessions. So I'm thinking if they're going to be 9 CDs, there's two things I'm thinking. Number one, there could be a lot of the rehearsals. Number two, maybe they're going to take the Sometime in New York City album and put that as part of the box for 1-to-1. I was impressed with the kid in your video showing you what he purchased. I was in the restaurant when you were filming that. Yep, I remember you being in there. And that was pretty great. Well, him and his dad bought him everything, but it's okay. I mean, he's a young Beatle fan and his dad's taking care of him, bringing him up right. I got a chance to speak to both authors of the McCartney Legacy book series and get my Legacy 2 book signed. It was great meeting them and seeing them in one of the rooms. Yep, you're talking about Alan Kozin and Adrian Sinclair. Yep. I read the first one. I have not read the second yet. I love the first one. I think they are the official Bible to Paul. Did you meet Pete Shotton back in the 80s when he was promoting his John book? No, I didn't. And Pete Shotton was one of John's best friends, by the way. The actor who will play Paul McCartney, for me, he looks like Paul. I think of your hilarious impersonation of the girl, and I want to hold your hand from your review whenever I see the film. Has she been to the fest? If we're talking about Rosie, the McCartney fanatic in that movie, she's died. But I don't think she's ever been to the fest. Hi, John. What's going on? Very nice of Sean and Yoko to send you your gift. Power to the people. Yep, it certainly is. Thank you. Yeah, and people like young Jack in my video with his dad. Dad's name's Rick, I think. Those are going to be the people that are going to keep on collecting Beatles and keeping it going on and on and on. I saw that John's sister, Julia Baird, commented that she thought they should hire Scousers for the Mendes movies. I just noticed that before I went on here. She thinks they should all be Liverpudlians, and she thinks they can't do it right unless they're all Liverpudlians. John's sister, Julia. That's why they call it acting, isn't it? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Did you rip your LPs and copy them to your phone or Apple Music? No, no. Or do you rip? Do you rip your LPs? No, no, no. I'm not about that. No, no. I'm an old stick in the mud when it comes to that kind of thing, you know? Apple and Dark Horse will certainly target the next generation with upcoming releases. As I say, they're going to be here when we're gone. You're right. And I get that. Do you think we'll get volume 2 of the Lewison book series anytime soon? I read that Harrison Estate is angry at him for some reason. No, I didn't. Well, the first part. I've heard recently that supposedly he is working on the second volume. Hey, if that's the truth, right? I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I understand the man needs time. The first volume is great. You have to read it. Tune in. The first one. It's great. Very detailed and a lot of information. Um, but anyway, I think it came out in 2013, and it's been like 12 years. But I heard that he's working on it now. That's all I know. As far as the Harrison estate being angry at him, I think I don't know the details, but now that you mentioned it, I think I remember something going on. Where do you place or rank Sometime in New York City in the Lennon discography? I like Sometime in New York City better than most people do. I think it's very underrated. I think it's got some great vocals by John. And even though I'm not a big fan of Elephant's Memory Band live, I did listen to an Elephant's Memory Band album that they did, and I liked it. John produced it, I think. And I like the way they sound on the record. Not so much live, but on the record. Anyway, so getting through all of that. No, it's not one of his best albums, though, even though I like it. I would rate it low. But the thing is, I think out of his regular normal studio albums, either that would be near the bottom or Milk and Honey would be near the bottom. The only reason I put Milk and Honey near the bottom is because I'm talking about the official albums. I'm not talking about the experimental albums, the weird albums. I'm talking about the wedding album or Life with the Lions or Two Virgins. No, the regular albums. The only reason I put Milk and Honey down there is, John didn't really get, I don't think, to finish it, really. Those songs. That's why. Why are some Beatle fans so harsh on the Beatles, Apple Core, and what products they put out? Well, there's a lot of people out there, John, and people are different. People complain about some things and people don't. Everybody's got different things. As always, great chatting with you, Joe. Hoping to get to the Chicago Fest. Well, I might go too. Nothing's guaranteed, though. Okay, very good. Very okay. I thank you very much, James. Back in December 1980, did you ever think Sean would be sending you copies of his dad's records 40 plus years? No, I never dreamed of that. Never thought it. Not, he was only 5 years. The kid was only 5 years old in 1980. I never figured in December of 1995 or 2000 that he ever would. But yeah, that's pretty amazing. And also the fact that he contacted me to thank me for a review that I did. What do you think about Denzel Washington as an actor? I think he's a good actor. I do. I think there was a question earlier about your least favorite George Harrison song. Oh, there was. Did I miss it? It is Shri Krishna. It's one of my least favorite George Harrison songs. A song called "Save the World" from somewhere in England. Okay, hi Joseph. Just watched your video for John's 1-to-1 EP. Wow, you were very excited over the EP. Oh, always, always. Yes, it was great. Thank you. My box seems to sit on the shelf and never get opened. I guess I have the sets for someday in the future. Do you ever go into any of your box sets and have a good listen? No. You know what I usually do, honestly? I usually get the box sets and then I have the two CD set too. So a lot of times I'll play the two CD sets. I keep the two CD sets like on this shelf here instead of going into the boxes. But recently, it's funny though you should say that. Recently though, I did play the bonus extra tracks, extra discs from Abbey Road. I played the Abbey Road bonus discs, and sometimes I'll play Plastic Ono Band. Recently, I played the Plastic Ono Band extra. But sometimes I leave the extras discs out, if that makes sense. I don't like having to go into the box and open the box and do all this. Sometimes I keep some of those bonus discs on the side. Either that or I listen to the two CD smaller versions. Sometime in New York City should be included in the 1-to-1 box. That's what I said. That's what I said. They should also make the the John Lennon produced David Peel, The Pope Smokes Dope, all from the same period. Well, I don't know about that part. I mean, I have those albums, David Peel. I think they're a hoot. They're funny as hell, but I don't know. Okay, Beatles fans, we love to complain about Beatles stuff, except for Get Back. That was perfect. Well, some people, including myself, complain that as a fan, I love seeing everything. As a fan, I like seeing any footage and all footage that I can, but I complain because it's just watching it's a long time to watch it. There's a lot of dead weight in there. I think they could really make a really good 3-hour version, 3 or 4 hour version, making it a lot tighter. I also think it's great that Sean still contacts you and sends you items. Yes, I agree. I concur. Thank you. Do you think that Sometime in New York City album was a political album and that he was focused by the government to get him booted out of the country? Yes and yes. It's not an opinion. It's a fact. Sometime in New York City certainly was a political album, and the government tried to get him out of the country. Yeah, both of them. Sean Lennon is one smart cookie. The way he will combine 1-to-1 concerts with Sometime in New York City, all remixed in box set, all included in one beautiful box. I hope so. I think that may be a good idea. What about your least favorite song of each Beatle during the Beatle years? I'd have to do that pretty quick. I mean, I don't know. I always say this, not counting like the obvious ones, not counting Revolution 9, it's easy to say Revolution 9, blah, blah. I do this all the time. Maggie May, Honey Pie, all that. I'm talking about full-length songs, okay? John, it could be Dig a Pony, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I like it. It's my least favorite. Paul, it could be All Together Now. George, it could be Blue Jay Way, although I still like Blue Jay Way. And Ringo, wow. I don't think I really dislike any Ringo songs. It's tough. Wow. Act Naturally. There you go. That's my least favorite. Can you make an announcement? Well, that depends what the announcement is. We all love Eddie, but be honest, we all would have beat him at trivia game. I don't know about that. Tom Frangione, who hosts trivia, is an expert. I mean, he is a Beatles expert. He's billed as the Beatles expert, I believe, on the Beatles Sirius XM channel. And Eddie Deason stumped him. He stumped him a few times. You can see that in all the Eddie Deason footage. Man, Sean is going to be one rich man when Yoko passes on. Yep. When they rejected George's album Somewhere in England, he removed some of the better songs, but kept Save the World, the weakest song on the album. I agree that it's the weakest song on the album, for sure. Hello, Michael. What's going on? If they put out a new anthology instead of Rubber Soul, I won't be buying Beatles product this year, except Paul's Half Speed, Venus and Mars. I'm skipping Venus and Mars Half Speed. I love the album. I got like 10 copies. I mean, I got, how many versions do you need? I have the original 1975 album. I have CDs, different CDs, one from Holland, and the series, the UK series they put out. Don't forget the archive version, Venus and Mars archive version. I mean, how many do we need, really? That really starts to happen after a while, but it's all individual choice. Okay, here it is. Sunday. Everybody write this down. Sunday, April the 20th, 6 p.m., a tribute to David Peel at the Parkside Lounge on Houston Street. Everyone is invited. And I'm gonna be keeping this up. I'm gonna be keeping this up. So if you missed this and you want to look for it again, look around the 71-minute mark. And you can find it and write it down later. Since we'll get John we don't know if we're going to get, remember that. We don't know for sure that we're going to get it. I'm just hoping that we get it. So what do you think? Since we're getting John product in October and Beatles anthologies, where does that put Paul's new album release? Yeah, Paul is working on a new studio album, and I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be late this year or whether it's going to be next year. Favorite song on London Town? Okay. My favorite song is With a Little Luck. And I love the title song, London Town. But if we forget about those two, my favorite song, because, With a Little Luck is the single, number one single. Other than that, I'll say Cafe on the Left Bank. Yeah, hi, Mark. Yes, I'm all set. I have my ticket all set to go. I'm going to go next Friday, to the theater, IMAX. Hello, Eric. I believe that the original tracks and sequence of Somewhere in England is on YouTube. Hello, Chris. Okay, David Peel's best song, Howard Stern for Governor of New York. Whatever happened to Howard Stern? Who cut his nuts off? I used to like him. Do you have a favorite horror movie from the 2000s? Well, the first one that came to mind is Saw. Well, actually, Saw. And the Saw sequels. Devil's Advocate, I like too. Andrew Watt produces the new Elton John album. He's also working with McCartney on his upcoming album. Yep. I know Andrew Watt did the Rolling Stones album, Hackney Diamonds, and it was marvelously produced. Okay, we got the comments rolling now. I appreciate it. If anybody wants to help the cause, anybody wants to make a contribution, you can hit the little funky S symbol below. Just saying. Oh, I said I'm just saying. That's funny. I'm gonna make a rant video about that. So anyway, what about I'm Carrying? I like that song, I'm Carrying. And there's a whole bunch of theories as to what Paul's carrying. I think he's carrying a gift for him. Packages and flowers. He says in the song, with my carnation hidden by the packages. Well, carnation. I'm carrying something for you, a gift. I'm carrying my carnation is hidden by the packages. And here it is. She is, Kit O'Toole. What's going on, Kit? If you want to pop up, let me know. I know it's unannounced. Just let me know. Is a redo of the anthology series a for sure thing? I haven't seen anything definitive about that. I think at this point, I think it's semi-official, semi-sure, semi-definitive. All right, Kit. I'm going to send Kit a link, but I'll do it, online. So just give me a second, folks. I'm just going to be distracted for a brief moment. I'll be right with you. Don't go anywhere. Won't take long. All right. See how fast this is going? Okay. I don't know how long I can stay on here, by the way, but we'll try, Let's see. Hello, John. A long time no see. Long live the Beatles. You better believe it, especially on this channel. Beatles live forever here. Dark Horse Records is releasing Cat Stevens Back to Earth with a lenticular cover for Record Store Day. A lot of accolades there for Kit. And we're going to have a Talk More Talk show on Monday, what we did at the fest. It's going to be audio only. Okay, there's no video, but there's audio only. But it was a good discussion. You can see some of the video, just a little bit of video in my fest videos. We talked about what were the smartest and not so smart career moves by the solo Beatles. I think that was a really good topic. At first, when it was suggested to me, I didn't really know if it was a good one. It's a great title, a great subject, I think. There he is, Andrew. Hello. Have you seen the news announced in the last few minutes? Pete Best is retiring from personal appearances and live performances. I have not heard that. That's pretty big news. If that's the case, I'm glad that I got a chance to meet him in 2022. Is there a day when you don't hear anything about the Beatles? I don't think so, Oliver. I don't think so. Okay, Kit O'Toole is in the wings. I'm going to bring her up. Okay, here we go. Hey, Kit.
Hey, how's it going?
Going good. How about you?
Oh, good. Just busy.
All right. That's all there ever is busy.
Never a dull moment, but we're just getting over last weekend's fest. Can't believe it's a week ago already.
Yeah. Isn't that funny? It's a week. It's like, yeah, come on already. How's it a week?
Jeez, this is insane. But we've recovered.
Yeah, Andrew Dixon was just telling us that there's recent news that Pete Best is going to retire.
Yes, I saw that on Facebook. Yeah, Andrew, I also saw that on Rogue announced it on Facebook. So I don't know. Hi, everybody. I don't know. It just said personal circumstances.
Mm-hmm. And Andrew, you're welcome to come up. Just let me know if you want to come up.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I got to go backwards. There's a lot of accolade. There you go. You were great, Kit. We're talking about loved your panel.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, I did. It was a kind of a crazy busy fest. When I wasn't on panels, I was kind of chained to my author table, so I didn't get around too much. So hey,
I tell you, several times during the weekend, myself and usually Robert S., we went up and we were looking for you, and we never saw you. Anytime we went, We never saw you. Okay.
I was either probably on a panel or I was at one point I was trying to talk to Gary Astridge. We always chit chat and we're there, and hopefully we'll have him on Talk More Talk very soon. But yeah, and then I ended up being down there a lot longer because people were constantly interrupting us to talk to him. So it was nuts. And then there were times where I just had to get away because those of you who were at the fest last weekend know the Apple Jam stage is right next to the author tables,
Right.
which in some ways is great, and in other ways it is so loud. And
Yeah.
so I had to like walk away at times or even go into the marketplace.
But it was weird. I didn't even see. I couldn't even find your table unless I was just like.
Oh
I
no,
went
it
over
was there.
to Ken Womack a couple of times, and he was pointing out outside.
Yep, I was outside, and yeah, but I was running around at times, and as I said, I just had to take breaks at times. I don't mean to be like, oh, that's all this loud music, but it was
Yeah.
really
No,
loud.
I can appreciate that. It is loud.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
know. Yeah, that's. I put it up for a joke, but I already talked about our Talk More Talk. It's going to be on.
Yes, indeed. It'll be Monday. It is the premiere of our panel at the fest, which was a lot of fun. And just to warn you, it's audio only. I couldn't bring a video camera with me, and all as I can only bring so much luggage. But the audio turned out pretty well, so it will be a lot of fun to listen to, and we'll want to know, in the comments on the video what you think are some of the best and worst career moves that the Beatles made during the solo years.
Well, this question: do you think Timothy Chalamet should have received the Oscar for his Dylan portrayal? Seemed like he was kind of expecting it. Well, I thought he was good enough to be nominated, but in all fairness, I hadn't seen the other performances, so I don't know if he deserved it over the others.
Yeah, I'm trying. Who? See, this is my brain is already fritzing. Who won Best Actor? Do you remember? I can't remember either.
In one ear and out the other.
I know. I can't remember who it was. So the people in the comments will help us out. So
the thing about Pete retiring, someone was saying, I lost where it was. Hope his health is okay because he had to be replaced or something.
Yeah, it was Abbey Road on the River. He was supposed to be a headliner, and now Lawrence Juber is going to be the headliner. He'll be great, obviously, but yeah, I don't know, what the story is. It's kind of mysterious.
Yeah. Hello, Daniel. Hello.
Somebody mentioned earlier they appreciate my enthusiasm. Thank you very much. I can't find it now, but
yes, I saw it too.
Oh, I see it.
There it is.
Eric Schultz. Yes. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, here, this is the one by Joseph Mantaneo.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Pete, best news. Lawrence Juba has been announced as his replacement for an event in New England, like you said.
Yeah, Abbey Road on the River.
But you see, it's one thing to be replaced for an event, but then when you say, "But I'm not doing any more,"
yeah, there's something going on. I'm assuming it's health, but I don't know.
Oy.
Yeah, it's so many of the people were there. The Beatles were big. I mean, they're either they're too old to travel or they're not doing well. I mean, or of course they've passed on, so it's tough. So, thank you, Elliot. Yeah, I think we are going to do future shows on that. We should, because we could have easily gone on another hour.
And the thing is too, I just happen to be somebody that's very, very aware of time. Yeah. And I'm thinking so much time was spent when we started it.
I know.
And I'm thinking, oh man. And then Ken didn't even have a chance, I think, to mention his Paul picks.
No. Mm-mm. So yeah, I think we'll definitely do another round of that, because I mean I didn't share all the ones I picked, so definitely future.
Let me read this. Queen Kit, I have you heard the story about MJ early in his solo career obsessing about selling 100 million albums, and then Thriller hitting that right
Mark.
before his death.
Yeah, absolutely. He was obsessed over, actually, and this will be a good opportunity to plug this in a second, but let me just mention when he recorded Off the Wall, and of course, it's an incredible album. I think his best, to be honest with you. And he was expecting it to sell a lot more than it did, and it did very well. I mean, it did extremely well, but and it didn't win that many Grammys and all. And so he vowed that the next album was going to be like the big album,
Right.
And so that inspired him, at least partially, to do Thriller. And I didn't know about it hitting the mark right before his death, the 100 million albums. That I did not know. But I know that, yeah, he was definitely, he was very hurt by that Off the Wall, as he saw it snub. And actually, I'm going to be talking about Off the Wall at Monmouth University next month. It'll be May 6th. It's part of that Tuesday night record club that Ken has had for a long time. And in fact, this is the 100th episode, and that's why I'm going to be there. And so it's going to be in person. I'm going to fly there. So Joe, I don't know how close Monmouth is to you, but
yeah, I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, look it up, because you should come, because there's going to
remind me.
Yeah, I will remind you. There's going to be food. And I even have a little favor, a little party favor for everybody. It's legal.
Yeah,
that sounded a little creepy. Yeah.
I'll drink to that.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. Yeah, folks, I gave him that. That's from the Turks and Caicos. I gave him that thermos a while back, so I'm so glad you like it. So anyway, I'll post information. I'll send you the info too.
All right.
And it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to be like Tuesday, May 6th at like 7:30, something like that. 7:30 Eastern. So you guys, I hope to see you there if you're in the area.
Tuesday.
Hi, Gary.
Oh no, Tuesday. That's when I gotta go up to that classroom.
Tuesdays are crap.
The worst days.
Oh no.
Gotta drive.
Oh, that's
no
well. I'll send you the info anyway. And
all right, give me all that info. Give me
absolutely.
What's your favorite Michael Jackson song?
Boy, that's tough. That's really tough.
I'm going with Ben.
Ben is great. Yep. And he recorded some great stuff around that time. I Want to Be Where You Are. Got to Be There. Got to Be There is a great song. And then he was a kid when he sang that. And, that's really rangy. As far as like the adult Michael, oh my gosh. As I said, from Off the Wall, Off the Wall, Rock With You. Don't Stop Till You Get Enough.
Don't Stop Till You Get Enough is a biggie with me.
That's a banger.
That was my motto on New Year's Eve, 82 going into 83.
Whoa.
And I remember I was at this place. This is going to be my year, 83. And then all of a sudden, it's like Happy New Year. And then, we celebrated. Then the first song of the new year they played was Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. Mm-hmm. And I said, that's an omen. That means that I'm going to really have a great year.
I love it.
And that's what I did that year. That was the best year of my life.
Oh, yep. Yeah, that was a good time. Other people, Man in the Mirror, of course, classic. That's great
Man
too.
In the Mirror. What about Who's Loving You?
Loving You? Yes. And of course, that's a cover of Smokey Robinson, the Miracles tune, and it's really amazing. Smokey said years later that he couldn't believe when they told him, the old Motown, like, oh, Michael Jackson's going to cover this. And he thought, give me a break. What does a kid know about this? And he said after he heard it, he thought, this isn't a kid. This is a midget. He can't be a kid.
Right.
What a singer.
I bought the Rockin' Robin single back in, I think, 72-ish, something like that.
Wow. Yeah, I like his cover of that. That's a good cover.
I didn't know there was when I was a kid. I didn't know there was another one.
Yep, absolutely, and it's great too. Yeah, there you go.
Well, I've kind of had enough though. That's the thing. Well, you never really get enough if you're a collector. But as I say many times, I have changed, and there's things I'm not getting and things I'm selling.
Mhm.
And when I went to the fest, I bought a $12 single, George
Really?
Harrison single.
What'd you
That's it.
get?
It was "I Don't Want to Do It" from Porky's Revenge. It
Oh,
was
yep,
a
I've got the album. Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
did that because it was a white label promo, and I bought Jay Bergen's book. That I hadn't
Oh, good.
had yet,
Jay's a great guy.
and
Really
that's it.
nice. And and there's some interesting stuff in that book. Oh,
Yeah.
Heal the World. Yep. Michael played that at his Super Bowl performance.
The
There you
Texas
go.
Steel. I think O'Toole and Mayo sound better in that order.
Maybe. Yeah, but we could solve crimes, no problem.
Uh,
We could do that. Absolutely.
there you go. There's the original.
Yep. That's right. Yeah, great song. You know, the albums they're talking about a couple of albums that came out posthumously. One called Michael and the other called Escape. I would say Escape, and it's actually Escape. That's what it's spelled on there.
No.
I like that one better. There were a couple of okay songs on the Michael album, although it turned out some of them weren't authentic. The estate found out later that which I can't believe they screwed up, but there were a couple that are questioned that they may be imitators on there, which
Mhm.
I'm like, how did that happen? Um, but yeah, I would say Escape and is probably the better one in my view. Oh yes,
Crazy
history.
money those go for.
I
Mm.
don't really. It goes for a lot for vinyl. I didn't know that. Wow. To check
Mm.
that. Yeah, I'll have to check that out myself. I mean, I'm not going to get it. I'm just saying I'll check the uh the price on it. Yeah. Oh, this is it. Yeah, that CD from the tour rehearsal.
But I mean, some people think I don't like Michael Jackson. My whole thing is, I mean, I grew up with the Jackson Five.
Mm-hmm.
I loved ABC, The Love You Save, I Want You Back, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, great
I love
stuff.
that stuff. And then later on, I thought he was so cool with Off the Wall. I
Mm-hmm.
like that. And then I loved Thriller because that's when I was going to what I call my club hopping days.
Yep.
And even though it came out in 82, I mean, it was big in 83.
Oh, huge. Yeah, because it actually came out like at the end of 82.
Yeah. And I did dance to Beat It, and I did dance to Billie Jean.
All right.
And then I don't know what happened after that. Then all of a sudden I was like, I don't know anymore. I'm not.
Yeah, Bad is not my favorite album of his. I know it was huge. It had huge singles off of it. Man in the Mirror is probably one of the best. Some of it, I feel like the production sounds a little dated now. Sorry, Ken. But sounds a little dated now, but there's still some great stuff. I actually like Dangerous. I think that which came after that has aged, I think, better than Bad did. That's got some like New Jack Swing and he was using different producers, so it was a bit of a different sound for him. And there's still some good, Black or White. It's one of the best big ones. Hey, it was good meeting you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Oh, Dancing Machine, Shake Your Body Down the Ground.
Yeah, I like
Absolutely.
Dancing Machine as well.
Yep.
Did you go to the Victory? Is it Victory? The tour?
No, I wish I had. I was a little young. That was
Yeah,
84.
rub it in, why don't you?
Yeah, I mean it was so I was like probably I guess I was like 12. I guess I could have gone, but at the time, which is so funny now, the tickets were seen as really expensive. And when I was writing the chapter on that for my book, they were like $45 or something, but that was considered a lot back then.
Hope you got to get that.
Oh no, that's okay. I can cut that off. So yeah, I mean it really I'm so sorry I didn't see it. But yeah, okay, so yeah, Russ is saying they were expensive. Oh, so you saw it. Wow. Oh, and you were at the show at the Garden? Oh my gosh. Wow. The night before 9/11 happened. That's right. It was a like a tribute concert. And a lot of people, I mean, like, Whitney Houston, Destiny's Child, like all the big Usher, all the big people of the day were playing at that. Wow. So that's amazing. You were there. But yes, okay, so yeah, as Russ said, the Victory Tour, yeah, they were expensive for that time. And now, of course, we can only dream of $40 tickets. Yeah.
Right, for you.
Oh, sure. They would have sold out really fast. Yes, it did. It sure did. I think it was just the night before. It's crazy. But yeah, he's one of the ones that I kicked myself, like he and Prince. I never got to see Prince either. I kicked myself for not doing that. I mean, he was amazing. I mean, the videos I've seen of him online at his concerts, wow. I mean, he'd shut the places down.
Okay, folks. I mean, I'm going to have to leave in about 10 or 15 minutes anyway,
Yep.
but we can maybe another 5 minutes or something.
Sure.
I could always chat with Kid a little after, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, another thing. I swear to God, this isn't the reason that I came on is to plug things, but I'm actually announcing this first on right here. So this is even before I posted it. So you get kind of an exclusive, I guess you would say. Ken Womack and I are starting a new series. Like every other month right now, but if depending on how it goes, maybe we'll change to every month, called Classic for a Reason. And we're going to be in these sessions talking about albums that are classics and go in depth into why they have stood the test of time, why they if they change music, that kind of thing. We've been working on this a while, but we were trying to figure out the time to do it and everything. So we're finally doing it. It's in June. It'll be on Zoom. It's online, and we're kicking it off with Fleetwood Mac's Rumors. So
cool. A great album. I love that album.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every time that comes up, that's the first time in my life. I was 15 at the time. My sister had it, my younger sister. And she was playing it, and I heard it all the time. I said, "This is great." I said, "There's actually great albums out there aside from just the Beatles."
And you're like, really?
I mean, it was like the whole album. I liked it from every track. I was like, I don't remember that before that.
Yep. Yeah.
All righty.
So anyway, so I'll be posting stuff about that soon. But that's the next thing we're working on. So as I said, it'll be every other month, and if it really goes over, then we may do it every month. We'll see.
All right, you heard it here first, folks.
Exclusive, Mayo exclusive.
Mayo exclusive. On that note, I'm gonna say see you next time. So thanks everybody for joining in the discussion. Thank you, Kit, for coming up. Sorry, it wasn't a little longer.
Oh no, that's all right. I came in late, so no problem. Glad I could pop on for a bit.
It was a lot of fun, and I'm glad that it was good when the Kit came up. There was a lot more energy. So
I don't know about that.
I was like I was trying to like keep this thing going. Yep. All right, everybody. So I'm going to try to do this like I've said, every Saturday. I'm trying to do it around these times. So check me out and talk soon, everybody. Bye.